God's gift through His word. It's God's gift through His word. It's God's gift through His word. It's God's gift through His word. All right. Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? I hope you guys have had an amazing Sunday. So let me do and put on camera today. Hello. How are you? So it hasn't been a minute because I have been with you guys. I have been using my avatar. And of course, those days I do that, that's okay. So I wanted to get on here because I wanted to talk about it's okay to tap out, tap. And we're going to talk about that because sometimes you need to take a break. You need to take a break from everything and you need to take a break from everyone. And sometimes that's okay to do. And that's what I'm going to be doing because I need to tap out. So, pardon me, I am just going to make sure my stuff is together because I'm always looking for it. Okay, so I'm good. So, all right. As you can see, this is our time to be kind of in the nighttime where those days that I do this, I come on and I speak about different things. Sometimes it's a Bible study, and tonight it'll be a heart share, kind of because it's talking about mental health and mental break. So I will have maybe one scripture, and hello to all of those of you that are tuning in. So it's a really, really big thing for me because I've had to deal with a lot. And I'm sure many of you have had to deal with a lot in your life as well. And sometimes you just need to be like, you know what? I'm going to tap out. Now, you can't tap out on life because life is going to continue to go. It's going to continue to move. It's going to continue to do what it does, right? Like time waits for no man, no woman. It continues on. But if you need to tap out, tap out. And that's you taking a break, right? That's you taking that mental break for yourself, a whoosah. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm talking about that because today I had a conversation with my dear friend, Pastor Jay. And sometimes I think for me, there's certain parts of my life that I have not yet dealt with because things, you go through life and you just go through, and some things you don't look at again. You just never bring them up until they are brought up. Right. And there's certain things that are brought up. You're like, I haven't thought about that in years, but it's unsettling for me. And for me, I've dealt with things like I was talking to him about me being in a cult off of Facebook. And it was unsettling because I had never really talked about it. I've talked about it here and there, but I had never really talked in depth about how much I was involved in. And at that time, I can just remember there was so much bombarding me all at the same time. And me by myself, I didn't get a chance to tap out at that time. I couldn't tap out. I was in survival mode, trying to keep myself safe, trying to keep my kids safe, looking for housing, looking for people to accept me, looking for things with the word. I was just looking for so much. It was a hodgepodge of everything. And it just, man, I couldn't tap out. Mentally, I was not tapping out. I was trying to go full throttle and do all kinds of stuff because I said, I need to show up for me. I need to do this. I was trying to validate myself because I already felt like my marriage was just decimated because of all the stuff. So I was like, I was already feeling like a failure. I was feeling like I had let myself down, let my kids down because now their family had been destroyed. It's just, it didn't feel good for me. And so as I was thinking about that, I was like, you know what? I need to tap out because I had been going through some emotional thinking about some things and just transpiring along with this whole dating thing and I'm not really dating at all, but being on date sites and all that, it can get mentally exhausting. Do you want to just tap out? Like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I know what the word says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? But at the same time, you want to be able to go out and talk to people and see, is this the type of individual that I would want to hang out with for the rest of my life, and the characteristics that they exemplify to, that they show you in person, like, oh, I could rock with this person like forever. Like we could do this. We could ride life until the wheels fall off, right? But not all the time are you able to do that, right? But you have to be able and willing to put yourself out there. And sometimes people that may not understand that, is like that opens a window to people that you may never see in your area. So I live in a different part of Arizona. So if I'm living all the way down where I live, and somebody lives up in Phoenix, well, I'm never going to cross paths with that person. So that's one way to look at it. You'll never interact with that person in that area, right? Unless you're there all the time, every single day. And when I was there, because I was working, I had a small, tiny group of people I interacted with on a daily basis where I was working, because on my floor, there wasn't really a lot of people that worked on that floor, and half of us were, virtual and hybrid. So I didn't really get to interact with many people. So I see, the dating sites, they have good things to them. Like you can explore to talk to many people. Then, of course, you also have the side where there's just all these people that want to play games. They're bored. They're just doing all kinds of stuff. And I admit, I've done that too. When I was bored, like, let me just hear what people are talking about on the chat line, just hear the foolishness, right? But I wasn't really intentionally looking for anything. So it's like a mixture of all different types of things. But sometimes when you're doing all of that and you're trying to figure out, man, I need to navigate my kids, I need to figure out how to do other things, how to bring in this, how to do that, you just gotta be like, you know what, I think I'm gonna tap out. It's okay to tap. I'm tapping out. I am tapping out. So I wanted to talk about that, because we all have a past, right? We all have a past. We all have things and people that we've known, that we've dealt with. And now we move to a different part of our life where maybe we don't talk to those people as much anymore, or even at all, because we're in a different part of our life. We're in a different season, or just at a different time, and things have progressed, and as life will. And that's one of the things that I thought, for me, that it's for my own personal health, my mental health, my mental break, because I have never had to sit and deal with some of the things that Pastor Jay has brought up for me. I've never had to unpack that. And now that I have time to unpack it, I don't want to haphazardly hurt someone who's close to me. I'd rather tap out and take a break so that I can mentally deal with whatever I have to deal with, because it's not their issue, it's just mine. So that's what I wanted to talk about with regards to this. So if you have been going through something like that, you're like, man, I've just been thinking about this and I've been thinking about that, and I don't know. I just feel like I might be overwhelmed, or there's so much going on. Sometimes you just need to take a break from everything, including like taking a break from friends. But when you take a break from friends, don't just vamp and disappear. Let them know, like, hey, I'm going to take a mental health break. I'm just take a break for a week, 2 weeks, a month. If it's a year, man, you might have to talk about something, but you just let them know, I just need to take a break, because sometimes it's just a lot. And for me, I am kind of doing that. I'm taking a break from like volunteering at church. I need to like get my mind together before I get started to do Revelation. So I'm taking a mental detox for myself, like really just focusing on relaxing my mind and not thinking and worrying about all these different things right now. I just need to do that, because I don't want to be a basket case. I don't want to be just breaking down every single thing, and it's easy to do. It's easy to do when you just keep piling on things on top of yourself, and then you just all of a sudden one day you just have a break. You have a mental break. And I've had one of those before. And they're not fun because you just keep piling things on top of yourself. You keep putting these things on. And now, don't get me wrong, there's a difference between having a mental health break and a mental health. Just taking your time away. Both of them are the same. But there's a whole difference than you just wanting to set out for goals, right? If you have goals, you definitely want to go for your goals and set and attain those. But be careful and be mindful to not put your goals and what you want against anybody else's. Just you do what the Lord would have you to do. And sometimes we get bogged down with trying to do what we see other people do, or we're like, man, I wish my career was at this point. And I think I've discussed that with a few people. Like, I've always wanted to have my career in a certain spot, but that's not what it is right now. It's just that's not what it is, and that's okay. I mean, my life is however the Lord wants it to be, that He's deemed it needs to be, and hey, I can't fight the Lord on that. So eventually one day things will pan out the way that the Lord wants them to. But for now, I just take care of my children and I take care of what I need to take care of. And that's it. So while I'm talking to you guys, I'm going to be doing some stickers, which I'll put that up to the screen. There you go. And these are stickers that you color. And so you can see that one right there. I'll get it real close to the screen that I've been coloring. And I've been using my metallic markers. I'll put that up there real nice and close. I've been using my metallic markers that are really good. And so they're metallic paintbrush markers. So I'm going to show you guys a tip so you can see. I think I did this on Bigo the other day because I should be on Bigo right now, but I went on Bigo and I usually go on there and do my arts because I share it over there, because sometimes I still feel a little bit apprehensive about sharing what I do with the little arts that I like to do, because I feel like sometimes it feels bad for me to do it. And I know I shouldn't feel that way. And I'm getting better at that because I got some books from the library about community art and other arts of the art of resin, jewelry, and some other books that I'm going to be reading about for the arts that I like to do, because I'm a very creative person. So let me show you guys this brush. I think I did that last time, but not here. Okay, so it's a brush. As you can see very close. Yeah, so it doesn't move like a marker. It's really like just a paintbrush marker. And I love doing that. So while I'm talking to you guys about tapping out, I am going to be doing a little bit of painting. And I have two sets. I have butterflies, and then I also have this one here, which I'll put up closer. And these are hearts. So I have my hearts and I have my butterflies. So I might be working on a butterfly or a heart. And I think I might work on some hearts right now and get to my butterflies later. But as I was stating, tapping out, I want to tap out. And now, don't get me wrong, this isn't giving up. Tapping out and giving up are totally different. Now, when I was younger, I used to love watching WWE wrestling, WrestleMania and all that. I don't know, I was a weird girl like that. I just like watching them, and I watched Ed McMahon. I watched the whole crew. And that's where I used to watch, The Rock before Dwayne Johnson got all big and fancy and all those guys. And I used to watch when they had their tag teams, right? And one would have to tag the other one to come in because the other one's out of breath or they're just worn out. So they say, you know what? Tagging. So they tap out so that they have bring the other person in and they can go and continue the wrestling match. And that's what I feel that I'm doing. I am not giving up. I'm taking a break. So I'm going to tap out and go sit down for a minute and relax. And I think that's a good thing to do, because when you do that, you allow yourself time to process some things. You allow yourself time to deal with whatever it is that you need to deal with without hurting someone in the process. Because I wouldn't want to say something because I'm going through my own process, and then inadvertently I say something to someone to lash out, and that's what do they have to do with you going through the situation that you were in? You went through that situation. They didn't go through that. You did. So you're lashing out at me because of what you went through, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't want to lash out at any of my friends or anybody that I know because of something that I went through. They didn't, and I lash out. And I remember how I did that when I had first come out of, my situation of leaving my ex-husband because of the toxic marriage I was in. I was lashing out at everyone. And once again, that was not their issue because I was the one that was in it, not them. And sometimes when I look back, and it's just some things that I do and I'm working on, it says, wow, and it doesn't say, I say, how could I have not known? And I just give myself the whole business. And of course, I know now, going through survival mode and doing that, you learn what your body was doing. But when you look back at it and you hear people say, you should have been able to leave. Like, where was your self-worth? Where was your self-confidence? Because you allowed yourself to say in something like that for so long. And, for some of that sounds true. And then some of it, again, if someone doesn't know where you come from and your background, a lot of that has a part to play. A lot of that has a part to play with when you try to do things, and people can try to explain it and tell you you have self-worth and stuff, but if they didn't come from where you were raised or how you were living at the time, they can't say, because everything has parts and pieces to it, and there's always some kind of activity or some kind of event or something that causes you to stay, or you end up in a situation where you're like, wow, okay, this situation that I thought was going to be beneficial with me actually turned out to be a lot worse than what I thought I was getting. And that may have happened to you. And you thought this was going to be way better. You find out it was not way better. It was way worse. See, for me, I definitely want to, and I think I want to, give love, an opportunity to find me, because I do realize that I really have not experienced what real, genuine love from another individual that is not the same sex is for me, not like from my family, because my mom doesn't, and we'll talk about that later, because I'm going to open the family Pandora's box, because that's just a whole nother thing. But for me, when I was thinking about the relationships that I've been in over my time on this planet, I can only think about perhaps maybe one person that may have, and the rest were like, no, we were just hanging out, we were just doing our thing, but there was not love there. Whatever that was, it wasn't love, it was something else, a toleration, I don't know, just being. And it just didn't feel like it was ever love, ever. Just felt like I was a means to an end for a few people, and then some just got over. But I had never just been just that one person for the individual. Because when I think about it, these individuals that I was involved in, they always had somebody else. That they were intertwined with somebody else, or somebody was away and they had a person, but it never seemed where there was just somebody that just wanted to deal with just me by myself. There was always someone else in the wings. And that's always been disturbing, because I always find people like that where they have someone in the wings. Even now, if I dealt with someone, I would hope and want someone to just have me, but they might have an old friend that hangs around and they have some kind of history, and they're hanging around. So that's one of my prayers, that if the Lord sends me someone, because I don't know if that's my destiny, but if he does, that person would only want me, not multiple pieces of me, not wanting me to compromise, to do other tricks and things that I've done in the past, which that stuff is old. So I don't want to go back to things that I don't want to do anymore. And that's one of the things. So I don't know. I said, I told Pastor Jay, I was like, I really just want to be open just to someone I could trust. And so I don't know. I do have hope for love, and I don't give up on it. It could find me, but for now, I will just continue to just say, in the personal realm of relationships, the Lord's going to be working on that one, because it would have to be Heavenly Father that put that love story together, because I'm not budging. I said, I don't care how many dates I would go on. I'm not marrying anyone until I know 100% that would be from the Lord, because I already been there, done that. And I'm telling you, I'm moving slow. And I don't have any prospects, which is okay. Eventually, I'm sure someone will come around, but I'm moving slow. And I mean slow, like a tortoise walking through molasses with a snail on his back. I am not moving fast. So I would be the snail sitting on top of the tortoise, and the tortoise is walking through molasses. So that's really slow. I'm not trying to move at a fast pace to get involved in something and then like, oh, not again. Because I really do not have the mental bandwidth, the capacity, or the age to tolerate some of the things that I did before, because I was a lot younger. I was definitely naive and gullible and just not mentally aware of a lot of things. And that's detrimental to me. So I definitely don't want to do that. Right. So I just want to take my time. And so that's what I wanted to share, that it's okay to tap out. It's okay. Tap out if you must. And then after you've tapped out, regroup, come back together, and then start again. But make that a thing that you have for yourself to just take care of you. Because if you don't take care of your mental health, if you don't take your mental breaks, if you don't invest the time that you need to separate for whatever it is, you're going to be the one paying for that. Nobody else has to deal with your mental except for you, right? Nobody's in your mind. Nobody's dealing with the thoughts that you're dealing with. Nobody's dealing with the feelings. Those are all unique to you. And now you can articulate what you're thinking. You can articulate the mental feelings that you're having. You can articulate all of that. But at the end of the day, even if you've articulated it, it's still here. You still have to be the one to deal with it, because you're like, oh, let me tell you, like, okay, well, that's what he or she is feeling. Okay, well, that's too bad for them, because you're still the one that has to deal with it. So that's what I wanted to just talk about. I'm tapping out and I'm okay with it. I just want to shine the way the Lord wants me to. I want to do what he would have me to do. And as I do that, I hope I encourage someone along the way, however that may be. If it's in singing, yay. It's in inspirational talk, yay. If it's with my children, yay. However the Lord wants to move me and orchestrate and lead me on the path that he wants me to go to, I'm willing to do it. And sometimes I want to question him, like, Lord, I have not. And I don't want to question him in a bad way, because sometimes I look at my life and like, okay, Lord, I know, I want to work. I want to do stuff. But Lord, I have not had a career where I can be like, wow, I've stayed in this career for like 20 years. No, that's not my story. I don't know that will ever be my story. But what I do know is he's always taking care of me, and he's always looked out for me. And as he does, I grow and I learn as he reveals to me in his word. And I just take time to do that. And I am excited about studying the book of Revelation coming up. And I can't wait to do that. So I just had to share that because tapping out for me is one of the best things I can do right now because I'm feeling that emotion of just not wanting to engage in that emotion of wanting to isolate. That's what I feel to do. Give me just a second. I'm going to go off camera real quick. All right, I am back and I'm going to take a swig of some water. All right. I got to put some more water in here because I'm almost out. So pardon me while I do that and still talk to you guys. So as I'm saying, tapping out, you don't always have to shrink back either. Because you might think, well, if I do this, people will think me funny because they don't like what I say. They don't like how I am. They don't like how I dress. They don't like how I talk. They don't like that I talk about the Lord all the time. They don't. Okay, well, if all those things they don't like, well, that's okay. God doesn't call people to like you. He calls them that they will follow after him. So you don't need to worry about who likes what, who doesn't like what. You just focus on what you have to do. And if someone doesn't want to be part of what you're doing, that's okay. I used to think that when I did my podcast in the very beginning, I used to think, I don't think anybody's listening. I used to think nobody's paying attention. Nobody hears what I am sharing. I used to really believe that until I started to get comments from different parts of platforms that I have been posting. And I'm like, there are people listening and watching. And for a long time, and I'll go back to the cult thing from Facebook. For a long time, there was a period in my life where I never wanted to get back on social media because there were eyes watching me, eyes that I didn't want watching me, eyes that I didn't want knowing what I'm talking about, eyes that I didn't feel comfortable. And it wasn't just my ex. There was like multiple eyes that were not him and were not his friends. It was just other people. And I was like, I don't want them watching me. I don't want them knowing. But then at the end of that, I started to get a whole bunch of empowerment from other people, encouragement as I continue to develop myself, learn and take certain classes and courses and involving myself in all these different things that was helping me and people were encouraging me. So that's one of the things that helped me because I was like, I can't sit back and continue to allow these eyes to watch me and me never get back online. I am allowing them to have the power over me. And I don't want that because I've always been free to say and do what I want to do on social media. Unless the platform closed, then I just find another one, right? But I've never been one to like really hide from anyone because back when there was old platforms like Periscope and all that, I was on that thing, sleeping, talking. I was on any platform that I could because I was trying to find my tribe, so to speak, and also find people that would relate to me, that could understand me. And I had people that would, tune in, like me making lemon water, which is not like a huge hard thing to do. But I would have people in the comments say, hey, that's awesome. That's amazing. Keep doing that. Keep striving. Because I was going through so much at the time. And I remember I found my solace not just in crafting, but I found it also in social media. I found my solace going live. That's how I found myself to be kind of a content, and at the same time I felt this is a spot for me because I'm talking and I'm sharing and I'm laying it out there. And I felt like going live or being recorded or in some form or fashion, I need to be here. And as I continue to do that, it was just a comfortable place for me to be. And it was better than talking to friends because I figured that all these people watching, they're my friends. But that's what I've always done. And I found it was comfortable for me. And when I see people that will put in comments, it get a ton of comments like, hey, we want to see you do this again. When are you coming back on? And I would feel so good. So I would go on different platforms of like, yes, I can't believe people are interested in what I have to say. I can't believe people are interested in my crafts. I can't believe people are interested in any of that. And it was the same thing when I did my podcast, and I found that people were in fact listening because you see the number and you're like, is anybody listening? But when they make comments, I'm like, yeah, I heard what you said. Like, oh my gosh. So I heard your last episode, or I watched your last episode. Then I knew it was more than just about me. And so when I do my videos or I do my avatar, come on, it is more so to encourage a lot of other people. It's about what I'm going through a little bit, but it's more so for you all. It's more so for other people because I'm sure there's someone on here says, I want to tap out. And I say, why don't you? Why don't you tap out? You're absolutely 100% okay to tap out. If you need to do that, do it. Don't let people tell you, you can't tap out. You can't just disappear. Sometimes you need to. And sometimes even at jobs, you want to take a mental health break. Why not? Because if you just keep going and going and going and going and running and running and running and running and try to get your goal, run. Now, let me say this again. There's nothing wrong with having goals and attaining them. Nothing wrong with that. In fact, we all need goals to shoot for something, to shoot for whatever it is. And you go and you masterfully get to that place that you want to get, right? Now, it's a whole nother deal when you're obsessively, overwhelmingly doing it to the point it messes with your mental, okay? That's different. And you don't want to do that. And I found myself that I had done that before. And I've done that on different occasions where I've just been going like, I've got to do something. I've got to make this. I've got to create something. And then I put myself into a tizzy. And now, guess what? I'm the one that has to deal with the mental consequences of what I've been doing to myself, causing myself extra anguish, causing myself extra anxiety, putting overwhelm on myself because of all the things I'm taking on, all the things I'm trying to force myself to do, and it's not necessary, okay? I don't know if any of you have that, but it's not necessary at all. So don't worry about just continuing to go and go. Sometimes you just need a mental health break. You might need a week, you might need 2 weeks, maybe you just need 2 days, but you need to take time away from whatever it is, whether it's your job, whether it's your family, whatever it is. Just, we get so used to a way of being and a familiar way of doing that we don't want to stop. We want to just continue to do it regardless of our mental capacity. And there's some things that you shouldn't do if it's going to cause you damage. And I'm talking about mentally. And you're causing yourself hurt and pain, but you want to do it because you want to have validation from a friend. You want to have validation from a family member. You want to have validation from these friends. And you're making yourself suffer in order to appease them. That's not a good thing to do. That's just making you hurt yourself. And you don't want to hurt yourself. Now, I know we want to make family members and stuff proud of things so they can brag to other family members of what you've accomplished and all that. But if you're doing something and you're doing an amazing job, and if you are a mother and you're doing an amazing job as a parent, kudos to you. Okay, kudos to you. Don't put that at the bottom of the totem pole because you're not doing like this person that has this high career in corporate and you're a mom. No comparison. No comparison. You still have a job to do. You're still the CEO of your home. You still have to make sure your kids have what they need. And sometimes stepping away from your job, if that's one of your decisions you have to make, and taking care of your family is the best decision that you can make because you're putting your ambitions on hold so that they can have a better life. And that's one of the things I've sacrificed for my kids. And I've done it before and I'm doing it again. But I don't have a regret for it because they're happier, they're doing well, they're excelling at what they're doing, and I'm happy for them. And I want to continue to do that for them. So I just wanted to get on here to get this off my chest because sometimes I could, and I'm going to write in my journal later, but sometimes I take the time to share this because there could be someone else who's going through this very same thing. And you're like, I just feel I need to tap out. I feel I need to tap out of life, but you can't tap out of life because life is still going to go, right? But you can take yourself some mental health breaks for however long you need and then come back, regroup, and go again. That's the beauty of life. It's going to continue. Time waits for no one. So even though you took that break for a week or more, it'll be fine because things will continue to progress and go. And all you did was take care of you. Self-care is more than just nails and getting your hair done and a good massage. It's taking care of your mental too. And when you don't take care of your mental, you won't be good for anyone. So take care of you, all of you, and get that hashtag mental health break. Take it. You definitely need it, and it will be for the betterment of yourself, your family, your kids, just everyone in totality, including your work. If you're working, it'll be better for even you and coworkers and management. It'll just be good all around because you'll be a better person when you have understanding that I need to tap out. And it's okay because we can't think that we're Superman or Superwoman and just continue to go, and think that we're robots and never stop. So I hope you will take your mental health break on today because that's what I'm doing. And I am going to say adios for now. And I hope that I get to talk to you guys again soon. Lord willing, I got a recording that I have done and it will be coming out tomorrow in the morning early around 3. So there is another recording that's going to be coming out and it will be part 3 of the Worship in Spirit and Truth. And this last one will be false teachers. So if you will already watch 1 and 2, awesome. Then this is part 3 that people probably have been waiting for. Like, you didn't ever put out part number 3. So I put out part 3 on tomorrow. So you guys can check it out tomorrow, either here on Facebook, or you guys can check it out on YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever your platform of your choice of preferences. Just check it out for tomorrow. So it will be airing at 3 o'clock Mountain Standard Time in the morning. And of course, you can go back and find it. And if you would like to also check for God's gift to his word. And down below tells you all the information you could possibly need to either support or find the podcast. So please do check those out and share. And also you can follow me on IG at GGTHW, the number 18. And if you're into Pinterest, because I do a little Pinterest, you can go over there and see the little different boards that I have as well. So I definitely would appreciate your support. Please tell somebody about this if you like the content that's shared here, because I'm doing my best to put myself out. So I hope that you will share. And if you want to be a guest independent artist, you guys know that I'm here for you. If you want to also be a guest on the show and you want to talk about something that pertains to the Lord or your journey or your walk, or maybe you are a person that's come through domestic violence and you want to talk about how the Lord has gotten you out of, I'm always here for that too. Since I am a survivor of domestic violence, I definitely appreciate that. And we are getting closer to October, so I definitely want to talk about that. And I will be doing that very, very soon. So with all that being said, I hope you guys are going to have an amazing rest of your night. And of course, I hope to see you guys all on Monday. Well, you guys get to see a recording on Monday. So I hope you guys tune in and leave your comments. So without any further ado, I give you guys a big kiss from me to you. Remember, I love you with the love of the Lord Jesus Christ, but I can't love you any more than the Lord does, right? Because the Lord loves you immensely way more than I ever could in this life. So please remember to be blessed, motivated, and always inspired to do what the Lord lays on your heart. So you guys take care. And I thank you guys for tuning in with your girl, T Drick. And you know what's going to go on. We're going to what? Cue the music. You're absolutely right. So I'm out of here. You guys be well, stay safe, and hey, don't forget to take your mental break because it's okay. Tap out if you must. Bye now.